VistaTalks, interesting discussions with interesting people from all around the world. I'm your host for today, María Roa, and I'm delighted to be joined by Timea Kadar. Timea is an open-minded, fast-thinking, experienced marketing professional. She recognizes good ideas and potential in people, in opportunities, and in making a strategy. Timea is currently the CMO at Francis Cooper Consultancy, helping companies of all sizes be successful with their marketing activities. She is also a lecturer in Northumbria University. Timea has also written 2 books, Your Story, The Art of Business Storytelling, and The USP is You, Build Your Personal Brand, from which we will talk about later on. She has also won various awards, such as Best Marketing Consultancy in London, Best in Content Marketing, and Best Marketing Mentoring Specialist in London. Timea, you are very welcome to the show. Let's move on, as I have a number of areas I would like to discuss today with you.
Thank you, Maria. This was a wonderful introduction. Thank you, and hello, everybody.
Thank you for being here. First of all, I would like our audience to know you a bit better. Tell us about yourself. How did you get working into marketing? Did you always knew you wanted to work in this industry? And tell us, how did you start it and why did you choose this path?
Okay, that's an interesting thing. Obviously, as a little girl, I kind of didn't wake up every day saying that I want to be a marketer, but I knew it from a young age. Actually, I've always wanted to be a writer. But when I was a teenager, my dad started his own business. He used to be an engineer and then stopped his full-time job to be around us, 2 daughters, and started a bespoke furniture business. And he made amazing furniture. You know, I still smell the wood, you know, what was around us, you know, when he did that. And he just had ad hoc clients. Some of them didn't want to pay. And, you know, it was that kind of, as a teenager, when I could see that my dad is not being paid for the value he gives and struggles with clients, then I already knew that there must be a way of helping this. And then when later on I had to select the university, it was marketing BA and MA, I did, which is really about, like, marketing is really about the art of getting the right clients who you love working with and getting paid for the value you give. But it wasn't until my first job, really, when I really experienced the power of it, because marketing is a thing that you can and you should learn about, but actually you can practice in, you know, when you actually do it. And when I started to work for Reader's Digest, a global direct mail company, as a copywriter, which is a bit linked back to my writing dream and ambition, and I could see that we sent a direct mail to the database, to the people, and in 2 weeks I could see that like 40,000 of them ordered the book that we offered. And that was when I got addicted to it. That, wow, this is amazing that we could do that. So in a way, yeah, I could still be a writer, which is not the same as I imagined as a little girl, a fiction writer. And then I learned a lot about marketing, whole marketing strategy, and the funnels and client generation and stuff like that. So in a way, it comes from a time of being a teenager and seeing how people who don't have the right marketing don't get paid for the value they gave. And this is something that I wanted to turn around, right? Yeah, this is why I started.
So it is amazing. You actually started because you wanted to help your father. That is
yes,
really, really nice. And you ended up mixing your love for writing to like helping your father and marketing. I mean, the way you did that, that's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It is, you mix your passions, you mix your father, your family, your love for writing, everything came together.
Yes, and probably this is the reason that I've never burnt out, because it's really, it keeps me, it might sound ridiculous being so passionate about marketing. It's not typically a cute thing, but yeah, I really am still today. So ever since, I've never done anything else. And just now that you mentioned my dad, the marketing consultant, Francis Cooper, that I have, it is named after my dad. So it's his name, really. So it kind of lives on, this story. Yeah.
That's really nice. Well, and then you currently work at Francis Cooper, and you ended up mentoring businesses. I mean, you start from that little thing, trying to help your father doing these direct marketing campaigns, and you end up at Francis Cooper mentoring businesses to implement the marketing strategies. Can you share with us the kind of work that is involved when you have to mentor big organizations? Because you went from like the smallest little things to like the biggest things.
Yes, and this is really interesting that in some ways, and we all know that sometimes when we are part of an organization doing the daily job, we just kind of need that view of someone who is coming in from the outside, but not just for a consultancy, but also to have the company put it into practice. And it's not that the knowledge is missing at large companies, and they really have great marketeers inside, but it's sometimes just more focus on it, which then I can get with this mentoring. Some of the things which we do is that we focus on certain areas. One of them is typically storytelling, which everybody knows is important, and digital storytelling. But obviously in the daily job, marketing departments and the management, they don't have the time to sit down and look at, okay, which stories we have. They're sitting on a lot of amazing stories in each company. And to honor those stories, to structure them, to put them as part of the whole communication strategy, and even beyond that, even product strategy, and make it part of the whole DNA of how they communicate. So this is something we really have with. And once again, it's not just going in and handing them over report or a plan, but this is, okay, these are the things that should be done by next meeting, by next month. And then in a 6 months period, we can do a lot focusing on one area. Another example is email marketing strategies, which like big corporations really have their email database, have some opening rates and conversion rates, but just to go in and say that, okay, what else could we do here? How we could optimize and increase the conversion and set up funnel segmentations there. So we have with that. And, this could be like helping them build their personal brand or LinkedIn. This is, again, something that large corporations have such an amazing power of, not only being on LinkedIn with their company, but making the spokespeople and the ambassadors within the company being there as a person and as an expert, as a source of information and motivation, inspiration for everything, for what the company stands for, and also support each other. So all the ambassadors or the profiles can support each other, and that's again something that in the everyday job, even if they know they should do it, but it's hard to find the time to systematically sit down and do it. And then this is when this kind of having a plan and meeting every month to see how it has been implemented can really help. So, but sometimes we do training also to banks, copywriting or content writing training, even to advanced copywriters or marketers. So I just few of the things I can mention. So mentoring is really a good way of combining consultancy, training, and helping things happen and being put into practice.
Yeah, you're right. Those are things that we all know we need, but we never have time to get our hands into, and we really need to take care of them. And we don't know how to even start. So we do need that mentoring.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is really important. I have to say, I do work with a personal brand of mine for something else. And I always say, I'm going to start. I never do, but we'll talk about that later. I'm going to ask you for help with this.
Okay.
Well, you're a marketing expert. Are there any brands that you think are really getting it right at the moment? And what strategic approaches in digital marketing do you see successful brands are deploying globally?
Yeah, definitely. A couple of examples, or just because obviously there are many I follow. One great one is Grammarly. The one which basically is about a boring topic. Grammarly is about improving your grammar. Who cares these days? But actually what they do, and this is amazing what they do, they use stories actually where they show you, I don't know if you're familiar with their YouTube ads, amazing ones, when they actually show you the situations where it does matter and kind of make grammar sexy in a way. And so I love their storytelling. I love their freemium model, that it's okay to use their free version, and it's really, it has a lot of functionality, but then the upgrades on it. So I like all the communication around it. And so this is Grammarly. I will just list a few and then probably come to a conclusion of what really connects them. Another one, who is very good with segmentation, is Monday.com. And this I would again mention as a very good strategic approach to marketing, and digital marketing is segmentation. So if you really land on Monday.com, then right away you are asked, what do you want to use it for? And then all the rest of the communication and the rest of the funnel will lead you through based on what you've already told them you need it for. So this really helps you segment right from the start. Which is very important, like where we put the money, then we don't want to talk to everybody, just really the right message at the right time to the right person. And it's really a good example of that. I would also mention the challenger banks, like in the UK, Monzo or Starling Tide. They really started revolution, which is then going beyond just UK and more globally, which is not only the way they do banking, which is not anymore the traditional high street formal style, but their transparency and communication, which has made the communication of finance much more approachable. They're very transparent. If you look at their billboard ads and all the rest is really, really amazing. And the product itself. So we should never forget that it's not only the communication, digital, the ad spend, the SEO, which all matter. So really the whole mix matters, but the product itself. So they really work on the product. They have even the users can have their say in what should be improved. So their focus is really on providing an excellent service and product, and not only to have an excellent communication about it, really. So yeah, so this is just now from, I don't want to take over hours because we could go on, but from a strategic point of view in marketing, really, it's very important to understand the customer journey, every little bit, to map it as much as we can. And now with digital tools, we can really do a lot of it and optimize each touch point, really, apart from providing an excellent product. So I think that this could be really mentioned, or for example, you have Canva. In Canva, you don't really see huge ads of Canva, or it doesn't really come up for you as, I don't know, in search, but the product is so amazingly user-friendly and useful, even the free version, that, the product is amazing there. But I really have to stop because otherwise I'm taking over for a few hours. So I hope it makes sense. I just wanted to show you in various industries how brands get it right. But yeah, so
no, don't worry. I mean, it is true that at the end, it is not only communication and the way we show people our product or service. I mean, if what we sell is not good at the end, it doesn't matter how many people we get to buy what we sell. If what we sell is not good, they will not repeat, or they will not continue buying what we sell. So, I mean, obviously, everything is important. Yes. I mean, it's all the way, it is a process, and we need to keep people with us or buying from us. So yes, at the end, everything matters.
Absolutely.
Not only the first time, we need them to be repeated by us.
Yeah.
So I didn't say it in your introduction, but you're also a director of London Marketing Club. Can you expand on this club? Tell us what is it about and share some of the events and activities that you do there.
Yeah, so basically, I think we founded it 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago now. The point here was really to bring together all professionals, business leaders, at whatever, so it doesn't matter if it's the CEO or a marketing manager, director, or an entrepreneur who knows that marketing matters. And it is quite an informal club. We have meetings and study tours. We've been to Tesla with a test drive and cocktails. Then we went to Apple, where we learned about the keynote. We go to private clubs. And I'd like to merge two things here: the love of marketing, spread the love of marketing, and introductions, meaningful introductions between members. So we know that in this world, really, there are a lot of scammers also in this world. And we'd like to avoid that. We'd like to shorten the time of going to the right source. And when I really know people, so it's not just anybody could come. Everybody shares similar core values on marketing and on sales, and generally on networking. And these are the things that we merge there, and it's pretty informal. I just wanted to add something beyond the just working behind a computer kind of thing on marketing and stepping outside. And we always have kind of like a light talk delivered by someone on a certain topic, which fits the event. So yeah, this is something what the club does in short.
It is a kind of like networking for the marketing, for any marketing people, or is it only for CMOs, or is it for everyone?
No. It's really open. So it's networking and knowledge share for everybody who knows that marketing matters. So it's not only for marketing people. And this is why I'd like to, because marketing is a management tool. So it should be, no CEO can say at whatever level that, hey, marketing is not my cup of tea. Obviously, they don't have to sit down and set up a Facebook ad or whatever. They don't have to do it, but actually knowing that it matters is part of the deal. And I'm very convinced about that. And I'm very convinced about them being on board with it. So it's not like, okay, I don't even want to know about marketing. I just it's not the approach. So it's really like, as you're saying, there are a lot of marketers, but not exclusively. And this could be really anybody who knows marketing matters, and it's really an informal one. So networking, knowledge share, finding the right suppliers, probably sharing some of the things that you wouldn't find on internet about the results or current trends, how it is done by some companies. We wouldn't publish everything on our social media or on internet. So this is what we do normally. And we do some study tours when we can learn about the marketing of some of the companies.
And do you need to join by invitation?
Usually we promote the events when they are coming. When somebody is coming, I really talk to them. Yes. So it's really there's a pre-filter, because what I like to avoid is obviously hunters and people just coming to sell. And when we've never experienced it, but if we did, that person is not invited again. But, but we are friendly people. We had a boat party last year that was amazing. So really great events as well.
That's great. Thank you so much, Timea, for that. So now let's talk about your books. The first one to be published was your story, The Art of Business Storytelling. I can think of at least 50 people who need this book, starting with me. Can't you give us 5 steps we can follow to write a good story?
Okay, that's a good question, and yes, this is a very good question. Actually, what's the practice of it? And that was basically the drive for writing the book. It has 66 actual examples of followed, answer this, and you will have a story. Because I found that in the last couple of years, we had a lot of talks at marketing conferences on how important it is. But okay, how do I do that? So let's put it like that. If it's 5. Number 1 is having a character, a protagonist, right? Can be 1 or 2 or more. And to give you an example, and I want to prove that it can be 5 sentences, okay? So Helen is a language coach and organized an event for potential clients, okay? So Helen and the language coach, we introduce the protagonist. Second, a problem or a conflict. Without that, there's no story. It's not exciting. One night, Helen woke up woke up and was totally scared that nobody will come, the venue will be empty, there will be 3 people there, because she didn't really have a lot of people who signed up for the event. Conflict, okay, problem. Now we are scared, we feel how it feels when an event is not really filling, okay? So the next morning, Helen contacted a network of hers, and they recommended Pearl Event Marketing Management Company to her. So she contacted them that day. Okay, so problem, what, then action. By the event, it was fully booked, and Helen stood in front of a full house of potential clients who were eager to listen to her, what she had to say. And then this is a resolution, okay? 5 sentences. It was not our long story, 5 sentences, and was everything in there. And I'm very sure that now everybody who wants to organize an event would like to talk to Pearl Marketing, Event Marketing Company, which is a fantasy one, okay? So I just made it up. Just to show that this is just one way of, obviously there are many stories, but all building on the protagonist. What is the context of it, the conflict, what happened, and what was the resolution, a happy ending or a sad ending, in both ways. So that's easy, isn't it easy? It was nothing extraordinary. You don't have to be really a good storyteller just to put this into order, right?
Well, you made it look really easy. Yes. Now I understand why you like writing so much and why you're so good at it.
I wanted to prove that everybody can do it.
Well, yes. Well, I think you're a good storyteller, but yeah, I think I will need to practice a lot for that. But yes, that was a great example, actually. So all these can be found at your book, right?
Not only this, yes, this could be fun, but also there were 66 ideas. This was just one way of telling a story, how how somebody had the client, but there were many others, how we talk about the beginnings, how we talk about a failure we had and then stood up from that, how we talk about others, mentors, and this. So there were there are things that, okay, these are the questions, answer this, and you will have a story, and there's an example for each, and all are very short, really. You don't need to tell a story very long. Everybody will be bored. So it's not about listening to someone starting from scratch. Well, when I was born,
Yeah, you're right about that. Okay, and the second book, which I was amazed when I saw it only published a month later, I don't even know how you did that, was The USP is You, Build Your Personal Brand and Grow Your Reputation. Is it possible that we do the same exercise we did before and you gave us, I don't know, 3 tips on what to do to build our reputation?
Yes, sure. And obviously I didn't write it in a month between the two, but it was like I had been writing it for 2 years back then. And it was like, you remember last year that lockdown, and I had more, and I always write when I'm kind of depressed or cannot get out. So this was the result of it, basically. So yeah, USP is You is about, everybody is so crazy about finding a USP and saying that I do care for my clients and saying exactly the same things when it should be USP and unique, right? And while everybody is unique. So why do we forget about our uniqueness and hide it to some very general things? So this is what the book is about. But to make it more practice-based, the book is really about how to, first of all, express this uniqueness, how to change our mindset, that it's not about talking about ourselves, and then how to do it on our own social media, and then also to get into the press, speaking at events and stuff like that. And obviously just, I want to keep it short. So just one message here, really. Because the biggest thing is, I don't want to talk about myself. Good news, you don't have to. Don't talk about yourself. Everybody's interested in themselves. Talk about the core values you share, and those people will click with those core values, and you will have amazingly clients and people surrounded by you sharing the same core values. talk about mission, causes, talk about other people you learn from and you like to be surrounded with, because it also expresses who you are when you talk about who you learn from, who you meet. Talk about things that people around you would like to hear from, your knowledge, the thing that they cannot look up on the internet because they can hear from you. So really, it's a bit of becoming a source. Not becoming I'm clever and smart and I'm experienced, doesn't matter. Become a source of the knowledge, the introductions, the motivation, the inspiration, the events around you, the people who others can trust because share the same core value. And once you become this source, you will be the one that everybody is thinking of when they need anything. And you will have the power of then directing, putting them into the good direction, or even just servicing them yourself. So it's a bit about this. And now the practical steps, because I promised that, is really two things. Find a niche expert topic or a few that you always talk about. Give you an idea, just to give you an example, I do a lot of marketing strategy, but that's a very hard topic to talk about. So I have personal branding, storytelling, and I always niche it, even for the audience if I have to speak somewhere. So don't say that, you know what, I can talk about anything marketing, but I have the niche expert topics that I say that I can talk about. And this will click with those event organizers or the press or wherever I go. So niche expertise. Find your story, because sometimes the story, like remember the one I told you about my dad. So there's one story and there are many others that people can remember. And number 3, start talking about this on your social media and pitch press representatives, pitch event organizers with these specific ones. And it's a win-win, because the editors need it. The editors need that expertise and that knowledge. They need the stories, and they will just very happily connect with you. And it always happens. I don't have the time now to tell you a lot of examples, but just to give you some practice, really the niche expert topic, the story, and then reaching out to those with whom it's a win-win, who also need this to give it to their audience. I hope it makes sense. It does
100%. And I will try to remember that because I need it and I will try to put it into practice. Well, we came to an end, but before we go, I would like to ask you, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience today?
Oh yeah, thank you so much for all the interview and great questions. Just a bit very shortly about what is happening, our plans. So with the club, our next event is going to be in a luxury showroom, Poltrona Frau. So we'll have a great event for the next one, and then our plan really is to keep these events, the marketing club events, at really exciting places. So I'm now in touch with a couple of venues. That's one thing we're going to do. And I'm also working on another book, which will be epic copywriting. So this will be a framework of writing high converting landing pages and high converting whatever you write. So yeah, these are the plans. Apart from, obviously, I also do my lecturing at university, which I really, really love. So that's also in the future, but that's probably not interesting for your listeners and viewers. But yeah, so this is it. But this is everything I wanted to share. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. That's a great way of closing. Well, that's the end of today's show with Timea Kadar. Timea, thank you so much for being our guest today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Maria.
Please make sure to tune in again to see and/or listen to the next VistaTalks show, where we will be discussing more interesting topics with interesting people from all around the world.